If I had my way, everything would be so nice. This world would be like Paris. No, it would be a paradise. No one would ever have to say, I'm gonna get my wish someday. All one would have to do is say, this is my order, if you may.
Welcome to another episode of The School Without Walls. I am Antonio Hobbs, founder and host of this program. This program is an initiative of a 501c corporation that I formed called the Help Inc. That's the acronym, Help Inc. That has been my passion most of my life, is try to help those who are in need. And my guest today, I'm continuing with Dr. Charles Stewart. Dr. Stewart, before I continue with your journey, I want to talk a little bit about the organization and its purpose. In the other segment, I talked about the School Without Walls. But the second project we have under Help Inc. is the Arkansas Delta Historical Research Project. It's designed to do oral history for African American families that date back as far as we can to slavery. Mm-hmm. It really goes back. I'm doing this in order to stress for younger people the importance of writing your own history. I can often recall when I was young, people my dad's age would complain about the African American experiences not in our public schools. Mm-hmm. And as I got older, I said, well, I can understand why. We haven't written a story. Mm-hmm. We must write the story. We must see that it's in the books, and this is part of what this is all about. And I've gone back with the camera into the Delta. For those who don't know what the Delta really is, it's the farming area of Arkansas, starting with Jefferson County, going back to about 14 counties, including Lee County, Phillips County. Those counties border Tennessee and Mississippi. So we went back there and did some recording, and we have in the Arkansas archives, we have copies of those mm-hmm. films and things for historical reasons. Now, Dr. Stewart, we were talking about you had, I believe, retired from the banking business.
Well,
the last segment. Did we get that far?
No, I don't think we got quite that far. But I had been with the bank and had gone through several mergers and acquisitions, which was quite unsettling. But very fortunately, as a result of each merger, I came out in a stronger position. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, and as I said, if I would give young people advice, and it's to be prepared to reinvent yourself mm-hmm. over the course of your careers, because as circumstances change, you want to stay relevant Definitely. To the new environment that you're in. And mm-hmm. so as a result of that, over 5 mergers and acquisitions, I came out in a very strong position. Mm-hmm. And so, but I had been with the bank, as I said, for 37 years, and I decided to retire, take an early retirement.
Let me ask you one question mm-hmm. before we go into retirement. Back to that money that you manage, how many millions of dollars?
Well, I think our public fund portfolio at one time was about $400 million. And these were government funds that were on deposit in our bank, mm-hmm. and that was within my portfolio. Yep. And as well as that, I also would go to out to the Capitol, and I would lobby for the bank, and mm-hmm. and then because of my mentor, B. Finley Benson, he also took me to Washington and introduced me around to all of our congressional offices there, and opened those doors for me, that I had full access to all of our congressional delegation. And then I ultimately was on a board of the American Bankers Association, which was mm-hmm. called the Legislative Liaison Committee. Mm-hmm. And so I did that and had the opportunity to be involved in advocating for national banking legislation mm-hmm. as well.
I see. So, were there any international involvement during your career?
Well, not at the point of being involved in the bank, but I had opportunities, and some of them I don't even remember. In 1990, I had the opportunity to go to the Soviet Union, for example, for a summit meeting as they were beginning to move into.
You did go.
I did go, and then I was appointed to the Industrial Development Commission by then Governor Bill Clinton, and I went on several trade missions with Governor Clinton. And so my involvement in international affairs and international travel started sort of in the middle of my banking career, and so and then it moved into my working with Heifer International, which has taken me all over the world into many different.
We have about a minute and a half. What is that, Heifer International founder, and what is it all about?
Heifer International is a global development program that uses agriculture and livestock to help families in developing countries to become self-sustaining. We give them or invest animals into those areas, and those families take everything and learn how to use everything that animal produces in order to produce income and then self-sufficiency.
Are the animals cows only?
No, sir. We have, I think that there's some 62 different animals that are used in Heifer's work around the world. So it could be anything from goats to bees to llamas to cows to pigs to water buffalo.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, were they obligated to pass one on to somebody else?
Yeah, that's one of the main tenets of Heifer's work is called passing on the gift, that those families receiving the gift of an animal must agree contractually to pass on the knowledge and the first offspring of that animal to someone else within their community. So.
We will be back in just a few minutes. We must take a break.
Hi, I'm Anthony Fernando, a veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm also a graduate of UAPB. I'm currently enrolled in the Master of Science in Aquaculture Fisheries program. Thanks to my mentor, Dr. Eggleton, I'm acquiring unique skills needed for future employment.
Since coming to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, Tony has been involved in a wide range of undergraduate research. Some of this research he plans to publish later this year. UAPB prepares its students for these types of opportunities every day.
UAPB is preparing me.
One of the brightest ways to go green is right above your head. Help the environment and fight climate change by using Energy Star LEDs and CFLs. They last longer, cost less, and cut your carbon footprint. Swapping just 5 of the most used incandescents for Energy Star bulbs can save you $75 a year. That's $375 in savings over 5 years. Brighten up your budget and the environment. Act on climate change.
So what you want to do is, have you already enrolled? You're 25.
What does that just do?
Select the drop-down menu again. Continue to sign. You're already enrolled. Example here, so don't panic. You're ready to make your payments. Submit. There it is.
Oh my God! I really can't believe it.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Those of you who just joined us, I'm Antonio Hobbs, host of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest today is Dr. Charles Stewart, outstanding local role model for you young people. Dr. Stewart, you had just, I believe, retired from the bank, and you had gone into the Heifer program as executive director?
Well, after I'd been retired for, as I said, I took an early retirement, and after I'd been retired for about 18 months, they asked me if I would serve as the interim CEO, Chief Executive Officer for...
No, they asked you. You did not apply for the job.
Right. No,
that's very important. They asked you to serve.
Do it. I had been the chairman of the board of Heifer, and had held a number of positions on that board, and so they asked me if I would be willing to do that, and so I committed to them that I would do it for a year, and as they were looking for a permanent CEO. And so, but it was a phenomenal opportunity to continue my work with this organization that was doing so much to help people become self-sustaining. And they were helping people in a way that it allowed them to have dignity as they were being helped, because it was a hand up and not a handout. And I think that that was a big distinction of the way they did their work. And then these individuals would then themselves become philanthropists, because they would commit that as they grew, they would give animals to other people as well. And so we've seen that all over the world through all of our programs, that continues to be a very important part of Heifer's work.
I believe during the break you said that I asked the question, I knew that this program was very active in Africa, but in other countries. You said, was it Peru that you just...
Well, we're in countries in Africa, in Asia, in Eastern Europe, in Central America, and in South America. I just returned from a trip in June to Ecuador. When I was the CEO there at Heifer, we formed a partnership with the international AKA International, and they supported several of our projects, and they were supporting this project in Ecuador. And I took a group of AKA sisters down to Ecuador to visit that project.
Is that right?
Yes, and it was a project of Afro-Ecuadorians who were the descendants of Africans who escaped during a shipwreck in 1553.
That's an amazing story.
And they went and joined up with the local Indians, and at one point fought the Spaniards there, but they continue today to live on the coast in Ecuador.
And they are conscious of their culture and their history.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
That is excellent for the young people to understand. And the language they speak is Spanish, right?
They speak Spanish, yes.
For that reason, Dr. Stewart had to communicate in a little Spanish. Did you know?
Well, very little, because I've learned some, but I've not used it as much as I should. So my fluency is quite low at this point.
Would you encourage the young people to learn Spanish? Would you encourage them?
I would encourage people to learn to speak as many languages as you can, because we're moving into a global world, and people, as I've traveled, I remember when I was traveling in Asia. One of the guys said, we buy from you in our language. You can sell to us in your language, but no, but if you're going to sell to us, you have to speak our language.
Right?
Yeah.
And now we're paying interpreters, which is not the best way to do business, is it?
Well, I think people appreciate it when you make an effort.
They do.
To learn their language. I gave a speech in the Soviet Union, and I learned enough Russian to end my speech using that Russian, and the people stood up and applauded, and just at the effort. And so I think people appreciate it when you show that you appreciate their culture, and that you appreciate their language as a part of that. So.
Being a foreign language major, I agree 100%. You learn much more than the language. You learn the culture. And they understand that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's continue your journey. We should have about 3 more minutes in this second segment. 2 minutes, all right?
Okay.
Journey.
Well, one, as I said, when I retired, I worked with Heifer, which was one of my passions, but I also had another passion, and I wanted to see children get the advantage of the kind of education that we got when we were kids, because many of our kids are falling through the cracks. So
that is so true.
I was a part of helping to start Little Rock Preparatory Academy, which is an open enrollment charter school that works, that actually looks for the kids who've fallen through the cracks and who are behind.
Is that right?
And we work to close that gap and to prepare them to then be able to go on to success in college and life beyond. done that. So that was another passion.
What year was that?
In 2009, we opened our school, and today we have 432 students in grades K through 8,
yes,
and located on 2 campuses. And so we're moving forward with that. And so that's just what, you know, I'm having a great time doing the things that I'm passionate about, and I thank God for giving me those opportunities.
I think that is so important to close this segment on young people. If you would find your passion and work your passion, you're likely to be successful. Now, you have a greater passion for that than you did for your main employment, did you not?
No, I've always, you know, just quite frankly, I have loved every day. I can say that with the exception of maybe 120 days out of that 37 years, I enjoyed most of those days and anticipated.
Some days?
Well, there was some challenging times, but they were far and few, and that goes with the territory. But I thoroughly had a wonderful career and enjoyed it just tremendously. And you know, they say if you enjoy what you're doing, you never work a day in your life.
That is a fact.
And I've been very fortunate in that respect.
You certainly have. And we're going to close on that. I think we're ending the second segment. And we'll be back and we'll talk about your business. You have a new venture that you, we'll conclude on that one.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Isaac Henry, a recent graduate from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff with a degree in sociology. I could be searching for a job at this point, but thanks to my mentor, Matt Gaston, and the skills I've learned here at the university, I was able to obtain a position as a gold bar recruiter.
Isaac was mission-oriented from the very start. His hard work and dedication got him over 4 Presidential Physical Fitness Awards while earning his degree. UAPB can help prepare students like Isaac for those same opportunities.
UAPB prepared me.
Our climate is changing. The choices we make affect the amount of greenhouse gases we put into the atmosphere. Making a few changes around your home and yard can cut carbon emissions and even save you money. Swap out 5 of your most used light bulbs with Energy Star bulbs like CFLs or LEDs. Change air filters regularly. Lower your thermostat in the winter and raise it in the summer. And make sure you maintain your heating and air conditioning systems. Recycle newspapers, beverage bottles, and food containers. Compost your food and yard waste to reduce the trash you send to the landfill. Recycling conserves energy used to manufacture and dispose of these products, which cuts down on greenhouse gas emissions. Turn off the water while brushing your teeth and fix leaky toilets and faucets. It takes a lot of energy to pump, treat, and heat water, so don't waste it. Reduce your carbon impact to the environment. Act now on climate change.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
Those of you who have just joined us, I'm Antonio Hobbs, host of this educational program called The School Without Walls. My guest is Dr. Charles Stewart, who has had a wonderful journey in his life. And as I've said earlier, this program is designed to accent local African-American role models, especially the males. Now, Dr. Stewart, let us go into the final segment talking about your new venture. You said there's a business that you formed now.
Right. We, you know, there's a lot of development that's going on around Little Rock, and several years ago I purchased some property in downtown Little Rock, and so I formed a business called Stewart Real Estate Development, LLC, and so I'm actually working to build apartments in downtown Little Rock to take advantage of some of the development and growth and redevelopment that's taking place in that area.
Now, downtown, is that close to Main Street when you said downtown?
Actually, it is Main Street, you know, and they're building condos, they're building, refurbishing these department stores into multi-use facilities that will contain offices, that will contain retail, and also housing. And so I'm trying to get in on some of that as we move forward.
You're dealing primarily with housing now, is that right? Just the housing?
Just apartments.
Apartments.
Right. It's
But
an
not
apartment.
office space.
It's an apartment building that I'm constructing.
I see. Now, about how many apartments do you have in your plan?
Well, the plan right now is for 16 units on 3 floors. It's in an area called Soma, which is South Main development. And
16 units?
16 units, in a 2-bedroom and 2 and 1-bedroom units.
And that will be in one, did you say in one?
In one building,
One
yes.
building, okay.
And so it fits into the urban quality and the urban character of the area. It's in the governor's mansion district, and so it's a historic district, and so I'm very pleased to be a part of that development that's taking place.
Excellent, excellent. Now we should have about 6 more minutes. Anything else in your career? Is this?
Well, as I said,
anything else?
I intend to, for whatever time I have left on this earth, I intend to pursue those things again that I'm passionate about, and to try to use my talent and ability to give back. You know, people said to me that when I retired, they, well, you're too young to retire and do nothing. And I said, well, I didn't retire to do nothing. I retired to do the things that I wanted to do and the things that I was passionate about. And so I've just been very fortunate, and I just thank God for the opportunity and to continue to be active and to be involved in giving back.
And you definitely look youthful too still.
Well, I feel good.
I believe I would be correct in saying you're past 50.
Yeah, I am past 50.
Yeah. You look so well young. Look, let me ask you this now. You're a member of the African Methodist Episcopal Church.
I am.
What is that church that you are now affiliated with?
I'm a member of St. Andrew, African Methodist Episcopal Church in Little Rock, and I serve on the Stewart board, and I'm the superintendent of the Sunday school, and I'm in the choir. And
what?
So.
Could we have a solo perhaps?
Well, no, you don't want that. Maybe the next time I come back, we can work on that.
Okay. So. Well, that's wonderful. I'll tell you another thing. I never did learn whether you were ever married.
I was married at one time. I have 2 children. They're both adults. My daughter is a teacher, and my son is an engineer in Chicago.
Their names?
Christopher Stewart and Cherie Stewart Anderson.
Okay.
Yes.
They have children?
I have a grandson, Trey, and
You're a grandfather?
I'm a grandfather, and I wish I had more. I love being
just
a
grandfather.
Just have one grandson, and he's actually in high school. He's 15, and it's just the joy of my life. And you know, as I said, I look forward to.
Aren't they?
They really are. I look forward to having more grandkids at some point. So.
Let's hope so. Randy, how much time do we have left here? We have only 2 minutes. Would you speak to the young people for the next 2 minutes? I think we've covered the basics thing. We want to encourage them to be the very best they can be. What advice would you have to young people, especially the African-American male?
Right. I think that my advice would be in the form of a poem. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a shrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub on the side of the rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail, but be the best of whatever you are. And I think that you know, we were born and we were made to know that we had a purpose in life, and that God did not create us to just be here, but I think He created all of us to matter, and all of us do in fact matter.
That's a fact.
But we have to find what our dream is, what our passion is, and walk within that. And we have to work on building the whole person.
Definitely.
You know, so many times today, I think young people are more concerned about the outer appearance, about what I wear, what I have on, but building that person that's on the inside of that is far more important and will be what will make you happy and successful in life. And so I just encourage them to pursue that passion and to seek to be the best person that they can possibly be.
I think that's good for us to stop on. Dr. Stewart, glad to have you here with us.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure.
Continue to bless you as you have blessed us.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
It's a pleasure.
All right.